fishing. I just want to show you how you can make a tool if you want to wacky rig some larger type stick baits, namely the wave worms. This is a Tikki Bamboo stick. They have one that's just called the Tikki stick, and you can use a regular wacky tool for that, but the bamboo stick has this really wide middle profile to it. Okay, the wacky tool that I use primarily is just this one here, and you can find this online or in a lot of shops. It's about $6, and then it comes with some O-rings. You could buy a pack separate, and you know, very basic. So what we want to do though is, the problem here rather, is if you're using a wider bait like the bamboo sticks, or if you want to really step it up to a large Senko. So these are 7-inch Senkos. Now I like some of the larger baits here, particularly the large Senkos are really good for fishing at night, I find. Black, just like a straight black, or actually a straight white, are very good night baits because of their just super large profile. Maybe a little intimidating to some fish, aside from the largest of fish during the daytime, but at nighttime it really seems to just have a large profile, and it brings fish towards it. So this is I find it to be a good night bait. The problem I had was that I didn't have a good way to rig it wacky style because these worms don't fit in the standard wacky tool. There's a couple different brands of these, but they all have pretty much the same diameter there. So if we take a look at one of these worms, and for myself I kind of put it in half, and I usually put my O-ring when I'm wacky rigging it at about the third rib here from the that portion there where it's flat. So I usually go to about this third rib. I find that to be balanced, and you could almost do it, but actually no, not in this one. I think it's the Tikki one you could almost do, but it just doesn't, you know, just doesn't get anywhere close. You just can't do it. Okay, and you're not going to be able to slide it on, you know, because it has to fit on there tightly. So let me show you. There is a company out there that makes one, and it's not too bad. I think it's like $10 or maybe $15, but I'm just going to show you a way that you can do it. You may have seen this tutorial online because that's where I got it from, but I just wanted to make a video of it. You're going to need a magic marker. I don't know that it's really brand dependent, but I happen to have this one here. They're all kind of similar. And this is going to become your wacky tool. So what you want to do is just disassemble it. Let's get a pair of needle nose pliers. Put these up there. And you got some little ribs in there. Just pull it off however you see fit. Okay, pull it off. Inside you're going to have the, you know, this guy here. It has plastic around it, so it's not going to really bleed too much into your hands, but just be careful with that. And then, so that's going to be the equivalent of this. You can see it's just going to give us a little bit more diameter. And then you're going to use your tip, and same thing, you have the beveling here. It's from skinny, and then it kind of slowly goes into the full diameter. Not as smooth as this, but it works just fine. You want to get rid of your tip, just pull that out. It's very simple. Boom. And there you go. Now if you want, you can go to the hardware store and find an appropriate size screw to fit in there. This is a carriage bolt, and I like this one because there's, you know, it's not like squared, anything that could damage the O-rings as you slide them over. And you would just take this and screw it in. Like so. And this is just a place to keep your O-rings. You don't need this piece though. It's just if you want to, you know, do the same thing here, just to have them handy. But it's not necessary. You don't, obviously doesn't have anything to do with its function. So you don't have to use that, or you don't have to find one of these. What you do have to find though, however, the kind of the key component of this is to find the O-rings. And what I have here is an O-ring set. This is from Harbor Freight. I have them locally to me here, so I could just go in and pick them up. If you don't, I find this actually to be the cheapest that you could find these O-rings. Now you're buying a set, and you know most of the stuff in there you're not going to use. But the ones that I find work are this size here. That's going to be 8.8 by 1.9. You could even go down to the 8 by 2. They'll both fit. The 8 by 2 is a little bit more snug. It doesn't dig in too badly, but it's a little bit more snug. Either one of these works. So this whole thing here costs, I believe it's $5. And they often run sales on these things, so it's even lower. And so you get you know, you could use both, which I'll do. So I'll have 10 of this size, 15 of this size. So that's 25 O-rings for about $5, which yeah, is a little bit more than like when you buy the spares to this guy. But I don't throw these huge baits that often either, so that those 25 O-rings will last me a long time. And the other thing is when you buy this assorted pack, you're going to get the same size as what comes with these wacky tools. And I forget exactly which one it is, but it's probably either this guy or this guy. And I would imagine you could use both. There's a millimeter difference, but both will stay. So that gives you another 20 or 40, if you use both sizes, to use with your regular Senkos or stick baits. So when you think about it like that, you know, you have 25 of the large size and then essentially 40 of a usable small size, you know, for $5. It's the best you're going to do. If you Google just like this one size, try to order them just like that, even when you buy in quantity, it's a lot more than to get like this from Harbor Freight. I mean, Harbor Freight's cheap, but the fact is these are nitrile O-rings, which means they're not going to, you know, break down on you that quickly. And, you know, I don't expect them to last forever. You know, I expect to go through them as I fish, so this is fine for $5. If you can find a cheaper option, you know, let me know, but I think this is it. So this is really just the key component, is finding the appropriate size O-ring. And then after that, so we're going to take one of these 8.8 by 1.9s. You just slide it on there. Now you can see the difference. It's you know, it's relatively small compared to the housing, but that's no different than on the normal wacky tool. This diameter is probably twice that of the O-ring, but they stretch out. So you put it up there just as you normally would, and you just slide it up, slide it down, grab your Senko. I go to that third ring. I like to come from this side so I can see how many are left. So that looks like about the third ring right there, and then just push it on. Boom. Done. Now, like I said, that one's a good fit. You can go one snugger. Both will work. They're both going to stay relatively good. Alright guys, so that's it. And like I said, you could also, you know, put this thing on here, find one of these bolts, and then, you know, put a bunch of these things on there. This way you have them. You don't have to go looking for them. Same deal. But magic markers, you can go to the dollar store, get a magic marker. This bolt I think cost me 8 cents. It's just this, you know, to get the assortment, it's like $5. So you know, if you just want a do-it-yourself project, it's you're not saving a terrible amount of money if you buy the one that I found online. Like I said, I think that was $10 or $15. So you definitely save a few bucks, but you know, it's something you can make really easily yourself. So you figure just, you know, why not? And if you lose this thing, no big deal, right? You could just get another one for nothing. As opposed to if this goes overboard, you know, it's $5. Magic marker's not $5. You know, like I said, dollar store, you can get 3 of these. Alright everybody, so that's it. Thanks.